Growing up in a small town, nestled amidst thick woods, my childhood was the epitome of innocence and adventure. My friends and I spent countless hours exploring the wilderness, inventing stories and daring each other to venture into the darkest corners of our imaginations. But there was one place we never dared to tread: the old abandoned house at the edge of town. It loomed over us like a haunted sentinel, its windows boarded up and its roof sagging with age. Rumours whispered of its tragic history, of a family that disappeared without a trace one stormy night. Some said they were taken by the forest itself, swallowed whole by its eerie silence. Others claimed darker forces were at play, lurking within the shadows of the decrepit mansion. Despite our fears, curiosity got the better of us one summer afternoon. With trembling hands and racing hearts, we pushed open the creaking gate and crept towards the house. The air grew heavy with anticipation as we climbed the rickety steps and pushed open the front door, its hinges groaning in protest. Inside, the air was stale and thick with dust. Furniture lay covered in cobwebs, frozen in time like relics of a forgotten era. We explored every room, our footsteps echoing off the walls as we searched for clues to the house's mysterious past. But it was what lay beyond the attic door that sent shivers down our spines. The attic was a realm of darkness, lit only by thin shafts of light filtering through cracks in the roof. Boxes and old furniture littered the floor, casting strange shapes against the walls. As we ventured deeper into the shadows, a sense of dread washed over us like a tidal wave. That's when we saw it, a figure lurking in the corner, its form obscured by the darkness. At first, we thought it was a trick of the light, a figment of our overactive imaginations. But as we drew closer, its features began to take shape, and we realized with horror what we were seeing. It was a creature unlike anything we had ever encountered, its body twisted and contorted like a nightmare made flesh. Its eyes gleamed with malevolence as it reached out towards us, its voice a sinister whisper in the darkness. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" it hissed, its words sending chills down our spines. With a cry of terror, we turned and fled, our footsteps echoing through the empty house as we raced towards the safety of the outside world. But even as we escaped the confines of the abandoned mansion, we knew that the shadow in the attic would haunt our dreams for years to come. As we grew older, we tried to convince ourselves that it was just a trick of the light, a figment of our overactive imaginations. But deep down, we knew the truth, that somewhere in the darkness of that old abandoned house, something evil lurked, waiting to claim its next victim. And no matter how hard we tried to forget, the memory of that fateful day would always remain etched in our minds, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lie hidden in the shadows. In the heart of our small town stood a forest so dense and foreboding that even the bravest souls dared not venture too far within its depths. They called it the Whispering Woods, for it was said that the trees themselves whispered secrets to those who dared to listen. As children, my friends and I were drawn to the edge of the forest like moths to a flame, our imaginations ablaze with tales of the mysteries that lay hidden within. One moonless night, fueled by youthful curiosity and a touch of reckless abandon, we made a pact to explore the woods and uncover their darkest secrets. Armed with nothing but flashlights and nerves of steel, we plunged into the darkness, the branches overhead casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves as we forged ahead, our hearts pounding in our chests. It wasn't long before we heard it, a soft, melodic hum that seemed to emanate from the very trees themselves. At first, we dismissed it as the wind playing tricks on our ears. But as we delved deeper into the forest, the sound grew louder, more insistent, until it felt as though it was echoing inside our very skulls. That's when we saw her, a figure cloaked in shadow, her features obscured by the darkness. She beckoned to us with gnarled fingers, her voice a haunting melody that sent shivers down our spines. "Come closer, children," she whispered, her words a siren's call in the night. With a mixture of fear and fascination, we followed her deeper into the woods, our footsteps echoing off the trees like a macabre symphony. But as we reached the heart of the forest, we realized too late the true nature of the Whispering Woods. For they were not just trees, but guardians of an ancient evil that had lain dormant for centuries. And as we stood in the clearing, surrounded by shadows that seemed to reach out for us with greedy fingers, we knew that we had stumbled upon something far more sinister than we could have ever imagined. In the end, only I managed to escape the clutches of the Whispering Woods, my friends lost to the darkness that lurked within. And though I tried to forget the horrors I had witnessed that night, the memory of their anguished cries and the haunting melody of the forest's whispers would haunt me for the rest of my days. In the heart of our sleepy town stood a playground that was the envy of children far and wide. With its towering slides and twisting tunnels, it was a paradise of fun and adventure, a place where laughter echoed through the air like music. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and darkness descended upon the playground, a different kind of energy seemed to take hold. Shadows danced beneath the flickering streetlights, and the air was heavy with the weight of unseen eyes. As children, we had heard the rumors whispered among the older kids that the playground was haunted by the spirits of children who had met untimely ends within its confines. They spoke of swings moving on their own accord, of ghostly laughter echoing through the night, and of strange, otherworldly figures lurking in the shadows. Most of us dismissed these tales as nothing more than fanciful stories spun to scare the younger children. But one fateful night, we discovered that there was more truth to the rumors than we had ever dared to imagine. It started innocently enough, with a game of hide-and-seek beneath the pale moonlight. But as the hours passed and the night grew darker, a sense of unease began to settle over us like a suffocating blanket. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and the air grew thick with the scent of decay. That's when we saw him, a figure lurking in the shadows, his eyes gleaming with malevolence. He beckoned to us with a skeletal hand, his voice a raspy whisper in the night. "Come play with me," he croaked, his words sending shivers down our spines. With a cry of terror, we turned and fled, our hearts pounding in our chests as we raced towards the safety of home. But even as we left the haunted playground behind, we knew that the memory of that night would haunt us for the rest of our lives. For we had come face to face with the spirits that dwelled within, and in that moment, we knew that some nightmares were all too real.